Pundi Micah. Gambia News Today. Moro Toure 13 takeaway points on the alleged killing of 2 police officers and why we must treat the case cautiously. By Moro Toure. 1. I now had the time to listen to and watch all the relevant audios/videos, including the original audio from one Mama Jabi regarding her interactions with the alleged killer, Ousseynou Boudjane, of the 2 police officers, Sankare's interviews with Peter Gomez in the Coffee Time radio program, Ousseinou's brothers, Famara Boudjane, interviews with at Kerfatou, the press conference by at Force Gambia, and Mama Jabi's interviews with one Mankajang. 2. Regarding the first audio of Mama's interactions with Ousseynou, I sent it to a specialist, who cannot speak any of our local languages, and has no connections with the #Gambia. Her expert opinion is that the audio was definitely manipulated. 3. Regarding the content of the audio, that is the conversations, even though the guy's voice was not that audible, the incoherency of what the guy was saying vis-a-vis what Mama was trying to put into his mouth indicate that Mama's allegations against him were unfounded. 4. Besides the manipulations of the audio, from the conversation and the picture accompanying it, the man was clearly experiencing a mental and psychological breakdown. 5. So how he came to be linked to the killings is bewildering. 6. But rewinding things a little bit, Ibrahima Sankare's statement that the shooting had political motives demanded scrutiny. Notwithstanding, Peter Gomez, a well-experienced journalist, evaded to scrutinize and hold Sankare to account, but instead followed a line of questioning that evidently led Ibrahima Sankare to implicate himself and expose government's cynical plans. 7. So, I therefore accept Sankare's statement that the shooting was political. Where he, Sankare and government, have blundered is their efforts to link at Darbobak and at official UDP-GMB to the attack. First, among other things, he said the alleged shooter is an employee of Brikama Area Council and that he was at the gathering for Yankuba Darbo's court hearing. Second, it has now been clear that when the shooting was happening the man was in fact at his place of work. So, everything he said happened to be totally untrue except the aspect of the political motives of the attack for the following reasons, below in smiling face with sunglasses. 8. Witnesses who were at the scene shared pictures of the car that was said to be involved in the attack. That particular car belongs to a well-known supporter of the ruling NPP party, and in fact a security officer, for that matter. Marrying this with the kind of statements made by Sankare, goes to corroborate his statement that it has a political motive. It suggests that NPP's operatives carried out the attack in order to smear UDP and to justify government's political persecutions and repression of its political opponents and to achieve their other political agendas such as justifications for extension of Ekamig's mandate in the country as they previously did. Unfortunately, prior to his interviews with Peter Gomez, Sankare failed to change their already prepared narratives to factor how the whole incident eventually unfolded. 9. The press conference organized by the police also raises more questions than answers. Many of the statements they said simply do not add up. They said that unusual high signals were detected apparently from the man's phone at a specific location they cited. How did they know that that could have been coming from a phone of the man linked to killings? They also failed to say whether that phone was anywhere near the crime scene. It is also now very clear that Ousseynou was not a member of the MFDC movement in Casamance, contrary to what they claimed at the press conference. Hope MFDC comes up with a statement on it sooner than later. 10. Regarding Mama's interviews with Mankajang, there are lots of inconsistencies with her earlier audio, not to mention the illogical nature of the things she explained in the interviews. Most importantly, the lady has serious questionable characters and backgrounds, not to mention her relationship with Adama Barrow's family. 11. Finally, it is now very obvious that this was a political ploy by NPP's operatives that went woefully wrong as it was incompetently planned and executed. This should not be a surprise to anyone as NPP is now being run by former Yahya Jammeh enablers who were behind similar political assassinations/killings by the former regime. 12. It should be recalled that NPP government fabricated similar incidents that a coup d'état was planned against their government, which happened to be not true. 13. What is also worrying is that staff of some diplomatic missions are aiding and abetting NPP's persecutions of its political opponents for various reasons. The opposition parties in the country should take note and not discount this fact. Some of the diplomatic representatives wine and dine with so-called activists who are in fact, unofficially, members of NPP.